Let's start recording. Hey guys, it's Taihen here. This is the first for me on this channel, but I wanted to break up the whole White Shores gameplay video and kind of explain my whole process of how I record my White Shores content and my gameplay videos. So this video is going to be split into two parts. I'm going to go over how I record my White Shores gameplay and also how I stream them. So starting with recording, 90% of my videos are recorded using this Osmo Pocket 3. I actually own two. One of them is my dad's, one of them is mine. I bought the creator combo. It comes with the camera itself and a bunch of accessories, but more importantly, it comes with the DJI Mic 2. It's a really good microphone for when you want to get up close. It's a standalone microphone, but you can also plug in an external mic like this one right here. I'm using this Rode mic I got for $50 off of eBay. This is just to elevate the audio quality. I really value audio over video most of the time. You know, something that always bothered me is when I watch a White Shores tournament and it's really high gameplay and the audio is just not it. Like the audio just comes straight from the webcam, which is not great. I usually end up like muting the video or the stream most of the time. So that's why I really value having like good audio in my videos and my streams. So the camera only comes with one mic. If you're lucky enough to get two of these, what you can do is you can have each person wearing one of the mics. All you need is just one camera. So you can pair the two mics to the one camera and have each person wearing it somewhere on their chest, and you're gonna have really good audio right there. So it shoots 4K, so the quality is really good. It's very small, very portable. It's easy to mount. I'll show you how I mount this camera on the table, so yeah. Now as for streaming, oh shit. Most of my streams were shot on my main camera here. This is my Fujifilm X-T3. I just got this lens recently. It's the Sigma 18-50 f2.8. Really good lens. Only reason why I'm upgrading to this Sony a6700 is because some of the dials on this camera is kind of like dying on me. So this is just like to replace this Fujifilm when it dies eventually. The Sony has better autofocus than this Fujifilm, so that's kind of mainly why I'm switching to this. When I get a better lens, I'll probably switch full-time to the Sony. So yeah, for recording, this is basically all I need to record. I have the Pocket 3, I have the wide-angle lens filter for what I need to get a wider shot, the battery grip, these two receivers here. One of them you have to buy yourself. It came with the camera, but basically I have two of them. One of them is recording me right now. Let's see. And you actually don't need to have this, but it's optional. You can just buy another microphone to plug into the receiver. Yeah, just to get slightly better audio than the built-in microphone on here. To mount it, I have this, I have my hydroflask. So what I like about my hydroflask is that it's very portable. Rather than like putting it on a stand on a table, this is kind of low profile. Like, you know, it's tall but not wide, you know. I bought another cap and I just kind of glued on this mount to the top. This here is the mount that actually goes onto the battery grip. So this goes here on the grip. The mount is broken, but it still works. And you just plug it into the camera. Mount, you slide it in. There we go. So what I like about this camera is that it has a little screen on the back. And you can rotate it this way and just have it point down at the mats here. If the angle is not wide enough for you, then that's why we have the included wide angle lens filter. It's magnetic, so you just kind of slap it on the front there. And now the shots should be wider. And then all you gotta do is just have each person wear the microphone receiver on their body. You can use the mic as a standalone, or you can plug in the external mic to the little port on here and record that way. So we have two of these, one for each person. So this is how I shoot all my videos like this. And then this is an example of the kind of look you'll get recording in 4K 30 frames per second on this camera. This is without the wide angle lens, and I'm gonna put on the filter right now. This is with the wide angle lens. So as you can see, it's a lot wider field of view. If you're recording with the screen facing towards you, you might get the screen in the picture here, you see it in the corner. To avoid this, what you can do is just kind of fix the camera so that you don't see it. Or to easily fix it, you can just record with the screen away. So now the screen is out of sight. And sometimes the flash will show up in the shot too, so you kind of gotta fiddle with it to get the kind of look you want. There you go. I kind of adjusted the camera a bit, and now you kind of don't get the things in the shot. But because you're also recording in 4K, you can also crop it to your liking. For me, I don't usually shoot in 4K just because the file size is massive. I usually shoot in 2.7K. It's still bigger than 1080p, but it's fine. But if you're planning on recording like a higher quality video, I would shoot in 4K. The best quality I've gotten is 4K, sized down to 1080p, but yeah. Also, a big tip for you guys, if you're shooting with the Osmo Pocket 3, if you're recording with the mics, I highly recommend shooting in mono rather than stereo, just because I prefer the audio quality in mono. It's kind of like, it feels kind of jarring to have like one voice coming in one ear and one voice coming out of the other ear, so I prefer shooting in mono. And also for focusing, right, for autofocusing, the autofocus on the Pocket 3 isn't perfect. The focus kind of jitters a lot. Like if someone's hand is like blocking the frame, it might tend to focus on your hand rather than the board. So I prefer to shoot in single focus, and what you can do is you can kind of tap on the screen. I would focus on like one card here, so I'm gonna focus on this card right here. I'm gonna tap the screen to focus on that, and the camera will just lock focus on this part of the video of the screen. Okay, so that's it for my recording setup. And for streaming, I will show you two ways of how I stream: my mobile setup and my home setup over there. First, let's start with my mobile setup. So this is a setup I've tried out recently and found great success. So far, I've done 2 streams using this mobile setup. As you can see, my recent stream I went to a card shop and I streamed White Shores One Piece Yu-Gi-Oh! Over there. It's the second time I've done this, but basically, yeah, this is pretty much what I did. So, for a streaming computer, you don't need a powerful computer, guys. This is my old ass laptop that I used in college. I got this back in, I want to say 2013, 2014. If you're using a camera and a microphone, your old computer from back in the day will work. I am dual booting Linux and Windows. Right now I'm currently on Linux. This is Debian 12. If I do a little fast fetch here. Oh, it's not fast fetch, it is neo fetch. Sorry. So as you can see, so Dell Inspiron 7559. I'm using an Intel i5 with a GTX 960M, guys, with I believe 8 gigs of RAM. So yeah, you don't need a strong computer to stream your White Shores content as of here. But yeah, basically, I use the same camera, the Osmo Pocket 3. And the neat thing about this camera is you can actually plug it into your computer and it'll work as a webcam. So, see? It's limited to 1080p 30, but honestly, the quality is pretty good. It's gonna look very similar to your offline recording, but this is good enough, and the quality is pretty decent for what this is. So now as for audio, you could actually use the internal mic on the Osmo Pocket 3. You can also even use the external mic to the receiver. Or what I have been doing is using an audio interface. So for my mobile setup, I use the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. This has one input. If I could, I would use a Focusrite 2i2 that has 2 inputs. So I can plug in 2 XLR microphones to the interface, but for now I only have 1. What I've been using for the longest time is my Audio-Technica AT2020. It's a condenser microphone. Why I use a condenser microphone is because it captures more of the room audio. It's great if you have a single mic setup. So what I used to do is just have like one mic here, and that's my room mic pretty much. What I recently got is this. So this is my new mic setup. This is the Behringer C-2. It comes in a pair. Got it from Amazon. It's like 80 bucks for a pair of mics here. And just like the Audio-Technica, it is a condenser mic. This is a small diaphragm condenser mic, an SDC. It works kind of like a shotgun mic. It picks up audio in like a narrow field of view. And what's great about this mic is it has its own mounting setup. It comes with a little mount and a little foam windscreen here. For my mobile setup, I only use one mic. And I set it up the same way how I set up my Audio-Technica over there. So. That's my mic setup right here. XLR going into my Focusrite Solo. And the gain on this thing is pretty high. Make sure you have 48 volts of phantom power plugging it in. And just make sure that the microphone is set to the Scarlett. And for filters, I like to have just a 9 dB gain with the this is my compressor settings I use, and a limiter. So that's all the mic is, or that's all the setup is. Just one mic, one Osmo Pocket 3 connected via USB-C to my computer, and an audio interface. It can be anything you want. For my actual home setup, I do use two mics, which is why I bought this as a pair. So this is my computer. It used to be a living room PC that I use for VR, but now I've since used it for streaming my White Shores content. My interface, I'm borrowing my dad's Yamaha mixer, mainly just because it has more than one input, but it does plug into USB, which is good. Has a bunch of filters here. I don't really touch the filters, but yeah, I'm using both mics this time instead of the one. If you're on a budget, I recommend using the Behringer C-2s just because you have two mics. The only issue with using these mics is that you get a lot of room noise in the background. So if you want to eliminate room noise, I recommend going dynamic. You can use any kind of dynamic mics. I probably recommend getting the Shure SM57s just because it's industry standard. This is not a 57, this is a Shure Beta 58A, but I recommend getting the Shure SM57s. You get a pair of those, and you'll get less background noise. You just get focused on the player's voice, pretty much. For camera, I'm gonna use my Sony to demonstrate. Camera is gonna be connected using this cheap old capture card. This is like 40 bucks on Amazon. It says 4K on it because you're able to play your games at 4K. Just not record in 4K, so it's going to be in 1080p 60, I believe is the max. So yeah, just like my laptop, I'm actually dual booting Windows and Linux. This is Debian 13, Trixie. I just prefer to stream in Linux. It kind of hasn't really given me any issues so far, unlike Windows. If you're curious on the specs of this computer, I'll do a little fast fetch here. As you can see, I'm using a Ryzen 7 2700X with a RTX 3060 Lite apparently, and 16 gigs of RAM with a 500 gigabyte SSD. So I figured out why I wasn't getting any video on my OBS is because my camera is set to photo mode and not video mode. Anyway, yeah, this is the picture quality. I could mess with some settings just to have it look a lot more like cleaner, but yeah, this is my home stream setup. As you can see, my mic is working right now. Both mics are plugged in or moving. It's the same exact filters, except I disabled the compressor just because there's a compressor built into the mixer. So all I'm doing is running a 9 dB gain and a -1 dB limiter. And yeah, this is my stream setup, which I've been using for pretty much all throughout last year and starting this year. I just want to say that you don't need to use these cameras and this equipment to get good quality video and audio. When I first started making Yu-Gi-Oh videos, I actually recorded with a GoPro, and I have this little Tascam recorder just to get better audio. It worked out really good. The only reason why I don't use the GoPro and this recorder is because the mall we played at had RF interference, so you can hear like a little humming sound when in the audio, so I kind of stopped using this. But yeah, you don't need to use an expensive camera. You can use what you have on you. You can use your phone, honestly. You can use a GoPro. If you want better audio, you can use a recorder like this. Or if you don't care about audio at all, you can just mute the audio and play music in the background, or just add your own commentary. It's up to you. Yeah, this is it. This is Taihan showing you my recording process, my streaming process, and hopefully it'll inspire more people to record their TCG content. Yeah, Taihan out.